Good morning there. You're watching QTV this morning, and I am Jenna Wasonko. We hope that you had an amazing weekend. Today, before I introduce my co-host and our guests, I just want to, send some love and light to persons in the Gambia prisons, because I'm aware that a lot of individuals in the prison actually watch this show every morning. So we are sending you some love and some light to ensure that you guys get released as soon as possible, and that the prison serve as a correction center that it's supposed to be, rather than frustrating you and all of that. And we are so happy that as a program, we're able to accompany you every morning and talk to you guys about happenings in the Gambia. We really appreciate your support. We have a lot of fans there. I have a lot of husbands at the prison, and they hate Ibrahima so much. They say that they don't want Ibrahima close to me because I'm a very jikar si prison ñoom ñëpp suma ay jëkkër lañ dégg naa ñu bëri foofu noonu suma jëkkër lañ te dañ la dee mere nag
waaw dañ ma mere ma leen fekk foofu suma it's going to be a war
waaw
suñ diggante waaw Jenna, it's good that mention nga ko xam nga ñoom tam they are part of the society.
Exactly.
dafa mel ni rek sometimes life dafa am steps yoo day jël before xam nga jaar la rek why doesn't means ne
it will define you.
It will define you. am na ñoo xam ne foofu lañ jaar ñu nekk a better individual.
Exactly.
So it's good that, because this is not the first time maa ngi dégg la ñu dee bàyyi xel. Because dafa am suma benn xarit boo xam ne moom bu mu demee bi génn daf ma ne bro soo demee TV saa su ne ngay wax affaire yi.
We have a lot of fans there.
And they enjoy. dama sofa mu ne this morning mu ne weltaare surprisingly mention na Mr. Mbodj.
No, Mr. Mbodj dafa famous. Why you do buy
Mr. Mbodj yow celebrity nga nii.
Yo, Mr. Mbodj même ma tontu yow doo bàyyi iñaan. You dialogue fu mu taxawut luy xew.
No, xam nga balaa yu dialogue di ñëw fekk ñooñu nelaw nañ. Understand? You dialogue time 9 la day.
You dialogue 9 la day play. Ba pare daf di repeat Sunday 12.
ñooñu 7 lañ day nelaw 7. So they cannot watch you die. Wax leen ma you are not watching you dialogue.
No, Mr. Mbodj dama dee dégg iñaan waaye kii basam dafa raw. mu ngi maa aatee ñàkk di sànni sama programme bi si bin bi.
No, you dialogue moom xam naa ne you dialogue is a very important program.
You dialogue su yëngu dara dina yëngu.
xam nga there are programs that are pillars of QTV and we cannot deny that. You dialogue is part of it. bul fàtte weltaare weltaare foofu la nekka weltaare is the.
waaye Mr. Mbodj tam su yëngu wutee du baax waaye Mr. Mbodj, how was your weekend?
Nice, especially démb ci guddi it was capped by the football team I support, Liverpool winning the Carabao Cup. So fantastic. Upbeat, completely nice. Big time.
Mr. Mbodj, man, weltaare 10 la dey play 10 si guddi every Sunday. You dialogue di play 9 o'clock. Loolu ban debate bi am na am.
No, why weltaare daf dey repeat on Tuesday.
Xanaa you dialogue di repeat 12 every Sunday.
Understand nga. So
léegi
bu nekkee na ngeen seetaan fancy weltaare yi send leen message masalan wallaay ndeysaan ngeen yónnee affaire yi Teres man doo maa xoolee neex na ma
man doo ma rey. But anyway, let's move on. Ibrahima, do we have a quote or we have a proverb?
We have a quote.
Okay, what does it say?
It reads, well done is better than well said. Well done is better than well said. Wow. So Mr. Mbodj, at this point bëggoon nañ nga wax ñu tuuti because well said tam is very important. Xam nga dafa am yenn wax soo ko waxee mu jaar yoon loolu tam baax na de du noonu waaye well done is better than well said.
Xam nga li nga day wax action being louder than words.
Yeah.
So essentially loolu laa wax. Am naa the sense in li nga mean by well said. Yes, wax léegi wax dafa powerful. am na lum dee def waaye essentially li moo wax rek mooy ne really the fruit of words mu ngi ci action. Action yaa nga loolu na si su ma la ne well done then loolu ngi imply ne achieve nga something am na loo def ba nga achieve si waaye su ma toogee di la wax rek xam nga I can have beautiful words waaye mënuma def as it were.
True.
So important distinction la fili wax ak def I love this quote Margaret Thatcher comme ça def mu ne if you want things well said send men. If you want things well done, send women.
I agree with that.
I like that.
And do you agree with that?
No, of course not. That can only be said by a woman.
Well, you're agreeing.
So
Can
self-interest.
can you rewind and come again?
He said, Margaret Thatcher said, if you want it well said, send men. If you want it well done, send women.
Well, I'm not surprised it's from Margaret Thatcher.
It's from a woman.
It's from Margaret Thatcher.
But you know, generally, women have this quality of proving a point. Like not even proving a point based on something tangible. Generally, that's just how we are. Anyway, I behave like that a lot. You know, we try to, like, even in our daily interactions, that's who we are. We try to make sure that you've done something and it's visible to people to actually measure it with standards and all of that. That is a true quality of a woman.
No, what I really think is that the quality of being an action person, an action man or action woman, an achiever, I think such qualities cut across gender. So we can avoid the gender stereotype.
It's not only
but
some women are like that, some men are like that.
But
Others
the
are
reason
not.
why I'm saying that is because generally, even with our daily lives, dealing with people, that's how we think. We think like that.
It's not all of you.
Well, a lot of the time. That's how we think, based on our
You can
relationships
say
with
most
people
of
and
us,
all
but
of
not
that.
all of you.
That
you
is
know,
there.
sometimes I don't think it's necessary for us to be pushing and pulling. This gender can
You've
do
done
this,
that several
that
times.
gender can. No, now I am mature enough
But
not
Mr.
to be
Mboch,
pushing
if
and
that is
pulling.
the case,
I think each and every person, you are good
okay,
your own way.
Mr. Mboch,
And you
bu dee
can do
loolu la,
understand nga?
nañ waxante diga su dee loolu la, let's remove gender roles. Mu jeex tàkk.
Well, gender roles su
génnee rek man you can tell me that.
No, gender roles su
If
génnee.
gender roles are still there, you can't talk to me that way. You can't tell me that.
ñëpp ku nekk dafa soona.
Kan ay soona?
am na yoo xam ne jigéen mun na ko, yenn yoo xam ne góor mun na ko. Waa in fact dafa am yoo xam ne sax góor mun na koo def yoo xam ne
waaw kon wax bi jeex na kon am naa dégg kon.
Understand?
am naa dégg Mr. Mboch.
No.
comme que mu ne dafa am yoo xam ne góor mun na koo def, dafa am yoo xam ne jigéen mun na koo def. Am naa dégg.
Jenaba, you people are making things complicated.
No.
Society bi ñoom maa si ñoom Jenaba ñoo ko dee dangal.
Dangalu ma ko.
Affaire si dangalu dangu.
Dangu ma ko
Okay?
def.
So let's free up. Let's
Mr.
just
Adif,
leave.
Mr. Mboch, free up weesuwut ñu ne tooga waruta nekkati gender role góor a jigéen yëpp.
No,
free
waaye
up
dañoo
weesuwut
tooga.
loolu la na jot góor
am na góor bu laa toogal benn cin pen ambaay
waaye
bu tegal
góor
la
bi
ko bu
daf laa wax
saf
ne su ma la takkee.
roof ko def ko nesetu.
Fine.
Understand nga am na jigéen yoo xam ne Jenaba yow tey am na góor yoo xam ne ñoo la daa tooga.
Fine. waaye buñ ko jël def ko gender role. man loolu mooy sama
problème
problème
man si waañ bi fii góor yaa ko dee tooga.
Fine.
Understand nga waaye lu ma laa wax mooy Jenaba bu leen yaxa affaire yi.
foot for example jigéen lañ ko jagleel waaye góor dafa am doole.
xoolal suma loxo yi foot moo ko yaxa.
yow dimbale ma yow soo footee fan nga
foot moo ko man dama dee foot. Understand nga man fan yi suma jabar dafa def moon base man maa dee foot. Understand nga so foot therapy foot yére xale yi foot suma yére
xam nga lan mooy suma conclusion man Jenaba Sonko soo ma laajee pour man nangu lu ma Ibrahima wax gender role su génnee suma kanam comme ma gis ne gender roles dafa am if it's removed rek man su waxee loolu suma kanam I will take it.
no gender roles balal ma Mr. Mboy xam naa yaa ngi bugg a ñëw waaye gis nga gender roles loolu sax ñun Africa fii rek ñoo ko amee understand nga am na yenn dëkk yoo xam ne loolu amut yow dëkk nga Angleterre yaaga nga fa gis nga góor ak jigéen dañoo def liggéey it's a combination of efforts ñoom ñëpp a ko dee def waaye gis nga ay gender roles ak yooyu noonu lu góor mun jigéen mun na ko lu jigéen mun góor mun na ko understand nga except and until yoo xam ne yooyu is natural loolu yàlla moo ko jagleel ji bi ko góor du mun a wasin understand jigéen du mun a def yeneen yu góor dee def waaye gis nga gender roles yi man dama believe ne yàlla dafa indi góor ak jigéen pour ñu compenser ñu dooleel each other si àddina bi
yow yaa xam loolu de waaye keneen si biti patriarche moom biir ak Gambia fii gisee wuñ ko ne dañ indi kii ak kii pour ñu work together
li ngeen wax sa dafa bari mu ngi so thick so
right.
many different concepts there
xale yi duñ dee understand
let's make a certain distinctions nit indi engine ngeen wax jigéen a mun a am doom
loolu ñun waxuñ ko
góor munta am doom xam nga that sort of thing
scientific things
ñu doon wax about gender I make a distinction between sex which is biological ak gender social construction la this so-called gender roles, it shifts from age to age, generation to generation, place to place. Among gender roles, be careful, things are a bit subtler. They are not as obvious.
But
patriarchy, banga amon, it's a bit more mixed.
Wow.
Why still, I'm not doing their 10 to death. I'm not doing
their
their 10 to death. So this is it. What we need to avoid here more simple binaries. Male, female, kele mundi, kele mundele. Life is not neatly drawn like that. Simple binaries don't work anymore, really. So it's kind of sad to be there. So the quality bogus. It's really not. Of course, you need physical strength. Male, we have more strength. While I involve brain, I do not necessarily have any advantage over the woman.
Thank you.
So this is really what the key is. When it comes to brain work, man doesn't have any advantage over any woman. Some women are smarter than you are.
Super intelligent. Understand? You know, she's smart. Nobody can deny that. I accept. She's smart. Why lolu doesn't mean benen goor tam munuta smart.
Lolu waxuñ ko.
Well, I'm telling you. So dafa depend. There are things that lolu we cannot have control over them. You understand? Dafa am yo xamne, suñ ko ñun ñoo dé taxaw ñuy complex things. Sometimes these things anko bay mu flow. Because
it's just the reality of what is happening. Degabi lolula, it's out there. Women ñom ñoo gëna subjected to. We have to prove a point all the time. Ñun dafa am point suñu wara prove. Ñun suñ taxawé nek pour nek politician sax dem parlement am dañoo dem lijanti. Sa boppa bi mais ma Mr. Mbodj dañoo dem lijanti sa boppa bi dang ko kot. Sa sey bi dafa tas. Naka nga mel. Nii la nekkee si society bi dañoo dem di lijanti yi nga xam ne góor bi for exemple góor bu sëyam tas duñ consider ne góor bi sëyam dafa tas jigéen pour mu nekk politicien dañoo consider na sëy la wala sëyut
granted ñun tam suñ society bi dañ ko mold in such a way dañ am religious background déglul dañ am societal background dañ am suñ norms understand nga ñun tam suñ society bi balaa ñoo allow certain things to happen ñun we are guided by certain norms and beliefs. Understand nga? Wahuma ne, women shouldn't be given the chance or the opportunity. Man dama ko dey wax fi, let them give the women the chance politically. ñom tam.
Waaye léegi normes yi affecté góor.
Understand? Dafa am
jigéen bu sëyut góor bu sëyut.
Dafa am yo. Non, loolu amut njëriñ. Gis nga jigéen mu sëyut. Sëy sa du by force.
Waaye loolu dañ ko dee consider di Gambia fii jigéen su taxawee pour nekk politique dañoo ne am na jëkkër bañ a dégg.
Musuma dégg loolu.
wax ma développement.
Bu nekkee loolu la. Sëy sa sëy is not by force.
Marisol taxaw na fi fu nekk presidential candidate ñu ne dafa dog boppam bi sëyut. Loolu lañ wax. They considered all those things. ñu ne kawaram bi daf ko kot ba pare amul jëkkër.
Loolu ñan ñoo ko wax.
Gambian si ñoo ko wax dégg nga ko. bu ma foyantu Mr. Mbodj.
ñan ñoo ko wax. xam nga soo demee IEC nga teg sa ay paper IEC duñ lijjanti.
xanaa IEC ñooy vote.
IEC vote ñoom ñoo la qualify ndax qualify
waaye vote su jotee. doomi aadama yi nekk biir dëkk bi ñooy
Gambian si ñu def seen choice whether they want to vote for marriage
choice bi nañ ko teg si loi.
bu nekkee ne ñoom ñu ne
bu waaye Jay I think that yow fi nga amee problème soo moytuwul mooy nekk lii wax yi nga wax noonu beliefs norms si nga wax yooyu góor ak jigéen ñëpp a ko believe di jigéen yu bari see but this is really the key this is the key so yaa ngi am many voices of course yaa ngi am the conventional view so your argument is against the conventional view
yes,
of
it has always been.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, you can make your point, you can make your stand. Why? Yow it ñi lu tax ñu war laa dëkklu yow doo leen dëkklu yaa ngi fa ñu ngi wrong ñoom te they think that you are wrong. So if you want to be a politician, you're going to lose. Because you need, hang on a moment, in a scenario, then hang on, such views. So one can understand how do you call yourself a feminist? Are you a feminist?
Man, not necessarily. Whatever, madal, luma xam moy dama taxawal pour diga. Lo rek la xam. Tay for example, young boys.
How do you know ne li nga wax diga la?
Because luma wax.
Based on what? Based on an anchor. What is your intellectual anchor?
Degabi is things based on facts and figures. Nekuma di wax. I'm not wax. Man duma de wax based on like Sky Talk. li ma wax rek daf dee based on facts yi nga xam ne dañ ma ko tegal scientific facts yi nga xam ne dañ ko seet ba pare teg ko wone jigéen ñi in different countries patterns yi fa xew patterns yi xew Gambia patterns yu xew feneen ak feneen so based on those you can clearly judge ne patriarchy mu ngi Gambia still when women are given a chance what changes can it bring because xale yi dem school dañoo am role model all of those things are theories yi nga xam ne I can depend on to defend this.
Okay, man dama foogoon ne we were talking about values. You see, because value statement lañ doon joxe all the time. Why should the conventional view see women in a certain way? I thought we were talking about values. Values na boobu dafa subjective de. Science cannot help me much when it comes to societal values. We all know that. Science can only help me in questions of matter. Society, discussion, you find them in the arts, religion, morality, all commingling. Hang on,
I mean, to satisfy consent gender talks. It doesn't mean ne ñun tam dañu wara bay suñ society bi mu mel nu mo mel. Jenaba dafa am yena yo xamne soko defé ci society bi, you know, du mëna do ñun luñ xam moy tay jigen dafa wara at least cover yenen parts of her body
bala mo lan la ñaata mbir lu religion wax la góor yi ne ko di def buñ fi indi loolu so inde religion conversation bi dafa
non ku def du jeex de
dafa
du jeex because dafa am fuñ ko wéer dafa wara dégg
academic discourse so fa inde religion rek wax bi du continuer dama la ñaan
góor bu ko def xamal ne yaa ngi break rules understand
fi yow sa yaa ngi break rules maa ngi break rules dañu waxante dëgg
waaw loolu laa moo tax society bi dafa am nu moo doxee am na yoo xam ne soo ko introduce in our already rotten society dafa gën a garaaw rek
dafa mel ni imam Babali lu mu wax bés boobu
yow tamit be careful yow tamit
religion soo ko fi indee wax bi dina sori
xam nga ñun suñ age ci lañ study talk about gender discussions si la when I go back maybe to my father's era I'm not sure they did much. More worry them suma mom like that's something else. Because society evolved now somewhat. Exactly. The world is changing, yeah? So yeah, with certain stereotypes, you have to let go of them.
You have to.
You see, kuneka, I'm not like give. You must give ground. Certain stereotypes. Come on, man. They are not justifiable.
They are not justifiable.
You know what I mean? So I'm not saying stereotypes about girly, jigen lily that you need to cast aside. That was what they believed in yesterday. But again, what they knew yesterday, the hala ute.
Mr. Bosch, dañ wara bay. Xam nga lañ wara bay. Di mbubo religion. Di mbubo comme nit ñi li ma gis attitude bi ma gis mooy dañ dee jël si Quran bi dañ dee jël ñoom paat bu leen favor ñu dog ko daw. Déedéet may ma rek non may ma baaral ma rek ma daana li ma gis biir Gambia mooy dañ dee seet ok paat bi lii la yàlla wax lii favor na ma jël ko daw dem side bi lii la yàlla wax man lii laa war a def favor ma jël ko teg ko boobu.
non nekkut ñëpp.
waxuma ñëpp waaye loolu moo fi am. so religion bi daal buñ ko mbubu nañ ko teg si yoon.
man one thing I know.
loolu la nit yi war a def
non one thing xam naa ko respect naa jigéen ok respect naa suma yaay respect naa suma papa I respect now my wife, respect now my sisters, ñu ma dee liggéeyal. Understand, although Teresa dafa deny. Why bu ebona deny. Okay? Why man lu ma believe mooy man suma religion daf ma ne xam nga sometimes man all this while du ma dee bugga pour indi religion. So indi religion rek dafa complex. Yaa ngi indi ay idea yu bëri. Suma religion si Quran bi Yàlla mu ne góor moo nekk si kanami jigéen. And we live by that. Why not? Wahud ne? Danga wara victimize jigéen bi.
Ban saara ka aja
quotal
ma.
It's in the Quran.
Wa quotal ma.
It's in the Quran.
Mun nga ma quotal fan la.
Déglu rek. Léegi suñ pare. Before end of the program dinaa la ko indil. Dinaa la ko déglu. Before end of the program dinaa la ko indil dinaa ko leeral.
Fi nga ko waxee fi nga ko prove.
Dinaa ko prove on this morning. I will bring it waaye loolu mooy dëgg
waa léegi jeex na léegi fi mu nekk nii topic bi nañ move on
waaw because wax naa ne góor moo nekk si kanam jigéen
waa léegi jeex na
mu ne nañoo close
waa léegi jeex na case bi close
Jenna,
Mr.
you are
Mbodj
denying that?
fi mu nekk nii nañ move on a lot of things happened na last week a lot of things on the papers si weekend bi tamit because gis nañ ne pharmacy council they had this press release where they're talking about skin bleaching. It's actually on the papers where they're talking about the fact that any product that has hydroquinone and mercury will be confiscated from different outlets. And also advertisements like the billboards, for example, that they have on, all of those things are banned. Well, actually, this has been in the books whereby skin bleaching is actually not legal in a way, but they're trying to bring about, some enforcement mechanism. I don't know how they will achieve this, because they are also talking about the fact that at the port, there will be no importation of any product with hydroquinone and mercury, and they will be going around places to actually get them. But I think it should be focused more on sensitization, because though they have some of these things, but what do you think about it?
This debate, this is a long debate.
Yes.
Really, about
the skin bleaching.
The skin bleaching stuff. Hunger, your body in the hassle and that sort of thing. So the argument has ever been, should it be banned, or people have a right? I'm not certain things ninka banned. I'm not certain area.
Wow.
Liberal value ne. Nitki, I'm not the right to decide for herself,
yes.
him or herself.
Yeah, because
so it has always been. So, one degree of risk, hunger, you want to achieve full state, be intervene, and when can I just give you the information? This is what we want from experts. Hunger, open your values, give me the facts. Now, when you bleach, A, B, C, D, and all of that. Whether they can ban or not, no, that's not up to you. That's public debate.
Public debate.
I know, I understand.
Wow, because press release we mom gain and
one should be very careful with expertise. Hunger, send advice.
Wow.
All over, even in the West, this is how they talk. With the expert, give me the facts.
Yes.
Afterwards, I'm not in consideration. Here we are living in the world of values.
Right.
Values can monopoly. Can with expert.
Exactly.
In the world of values. So give me the facts regarding the matter, whether we're gonna ban it or not. That's a debate possibly, boy, I'm in the National Assembly, for instance.
So we just have to monitor.
Let's put it that way.
Like you mentioned, we just have to monitor. Because, for example, the hydroquinone that they're talking about, sometimes hydroquinone, it can be used to actually, work on sunburns. Like, dankole muna use pour remedy dara li nga xamne mu ngi dal sa skin bi. So comme noko waxe dafa melni tobacco rek. Tobacco si paquet cigarette bi ñu ngi la fa bindal ne tobacco kills. So dafa melni Mr. Mbodj mu ngi suggest ne hidna dañ ne okay skin bleaching ñu make sure ne ñu ko jaay tam there's something luy génn point blank one la ne it will harm you.
And it's interesting yaa ngi wax tobacco.
Tobacco waaw.
So gisee the statistics li ñu tobacco day def.
Wow.
Why haven't they banned it?
Exactly.
So this is the key. So lu nekk rek da nga determine na is it such a big risk to society that the state must intervene? I'm not certain thing. Yes, you must say yes. What I mean, I'm not space bo hamne. Hey, suma magi bo pala. I may decide to harm myself. It's none of your business. It's none of your business.
Skin bleaching products banning lolu nekut lu es yagana amon na time that they knew mu demat nga diga legi especially former government ñu dañ ko don ban legi ñu wax ko ñu stop ko wow so comme noko waxe
ñun ñoo nek I remember was it Yaya Jammeh's period lañ is ñu ban before that it wasn't everybody knew so it just depends.
I think the sensitization la rek because at some point am bu nekene yaange ban product bi at some point xam nga business bi tam dafa wara flow xam naa ne comme noo ko waxee it's important for them to label it at some point sama gi boppa nga you choose to use it or not cigarette wax nañ dañ koo ban a lot of times waaye after indi nañ another way léegi you choose to smoke it bu nekkee ne da nga koo tuxuloo ko loolu sa affaire la waaye ñoom wax nañ la lu moo def waaye xam naa ne nag at some point tam dafa wàññi the risk of people taking it loolu yëpp daf koo wàññi but yeneen yi des na si yoon
so man personally affaire skin bleaching xeesal lii mooy suma opinion mooy dañ war a def like grassroots sensitization balaa banning bi yëpp di ñëw sax because grassroots sensitization bi soo gisee ma wax ko mooy ñun Gambia dañ juddu fekka ñu won ñu ne xees mooy rafet man loolu laa xam soo xeesul rafetuloo sa ñuulaay bi lum rafet yow da nga war a xees pour nga mun a stand out in society. Number 2 modèle yi xale yi di gis fuñ gis modèle bu taxaw most xanaa léegi la change they bringing in dark models da ngaa gis ne dañ dee make sure ne models yi yëpp nit yu xees lañ. In the beauty industry for example back in the days probably 10 years ago they did not consider producing dark foundations because they felt like dark people could use dark foundations and concealers to actually hide how dark they are as individuals. So I think it's about when you grow up as a child, your mom telling you that, oh, you're a black beauty, telling your child that black beauty, put that at the back of your mind. For example, Beyonce's song, brown skin girl, something like that. But generally, secondly, Mr. Mbodj, gori ñoo dee tax jigéen yi di xeesal because da ngaa gis jigéen bu sey tey jëkkëram si boppam jëndal ko diwi xeesal jox ko wax ko ne dama bëgg nga xees.
man de suma boss bu xees la.
yaa ngi understand.
Wow,
so it's about a deep rooted culture bi nga xam ne dañ ko war a change from the grassroots balaa ñu bring in policies damaa wax même balaa ñu bring in policies Mr. Mbodj
from Banky in Spain. Wow, thank you Banky mu ne you're looking smart brother and handsome brother. More like Jennifer dafla fancy sa. Thank you, Banky.
I full like fayda nga ma dog.
Mr. Mbodj. Telling you no. This is it. That's the social base of this individual behavior. That is it.
Exactly.
So, and you're absolutely correct. You deal with the social aspects, obviously, you catch them when they're younger. And from different angles.
Exactly.
I mean, be proud of your color. That's
the thing. But Mr. Mbodj, if there's a job interview, if there's a job interview for a marketing position, jigéen bu xees taxaw, góor jigéen bu ñuul taxaw, jigéen bu xees bi la ñoo jël. Surtout even the media, tamit, sometimes dañ leen mën a use comme nit sa skin color pour mun a jaay dara. Loolu gis nañ ko fi du xaaju du jee. So it's about ñun at home ak society bi nit ñi seen boppay lan lañ am si jigéen bi nga xamante ne dafa xees. If we change that, the societal belief, jarut ñi ñu génnee press release sax dina change. So ñuulee they will look at what's in your head rather than your normal.
This time agree na.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Gambia loolu
societal belief la rek.
So debate googu
son boo am la.
Even the
banks. Understand? Why gradually muge change. Now people are more interested in stuff you have than how you look. Understand?
And one hopes that this whole idea of bleaching ban and all of that, discussions you didn't emerge. You guess the social reasons why individuals they choose to bleach themselves.
Because
so attack Lolo, then Lalo the deep-rooted nature.
Mr. Mbodj, I did not want to read out this. Why? Fogma read lako. I'm not going to send message. When I am disappointed with Mr. Mbodj, he is liberal. Wow. So,
Mr. Mbodj.
No, Koko, that's my taga. Even though disappointed in him or herself, how my absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. So,
but anyway, moving on, gis nañ na tamit, Mr. Mbodj, ñu ngi gis privatization. We've been discussing a lot on this program about, the privatization of certain sectors to ensure that there's competition or there's effectiveness. We saw that President Adama Barrow launched this Nero company at the Banjul International Airport, which is meant for ground handling services. So, when it was launched, I saw a lot of comments online of people saying, oh, how about GIA? How is GIA going to survive when you are bringing in private sectors to actually do ground handling? And we are the same individuals who also ask for proper services, competition and all of that. So, and we're seeing the government moving towards that direction with the Banjul International Airport, the launching of, Nero company.
Oh, absolutely. For me, everybody knows that, especially, and we discuss this all the time. I'm an advocate of privatization. If I could, I'll probably privatize government.
Excuse me? I missed that part.
I'm just kidding.
Man dégguma li nga wax de. Man dama pretend ne
They more
dégguma ko.
privatize government bi ba pare.
Let me tell you something, yeah. In our culture, yeah, even in our intellectual culture, it seems as if whenever we mention privatization has been stigmatized. Saying, no, these money people, they just make profits and use, ordinary people making profits on ordinary people and all the rest of it. And yet, you haven't seen any difference with the public sector. The thing about the privatizing is this. When we privatize, we agree on certain conditions.
Exactly.
You are expected to deliver A, B, C, and D, otherwise there will be penalties. It's easier, really, to monitor. Apparently, an economist who was advisor to Margaret Thatcher, you remember when Thatcher took over, no, why should I say you remember? When Thatcher took over in 1979, started privatizing all sorts of things. Everybody was screaming, why are you doing this, why are you doing that? But before she did that, an economist said to her, that's the best way that you can actually monitor. The public sector, I mean, we've had public sector, they've been losing. I mean, China so far is doing well, but China's public institutions, they behave almost like private institutions. They've managed to do something like that. You must make profits. You must run things well. You are competing. But right now, public sector, completely inefficient. Most of them should be privatized. That's when possibly we'll see better services, I think.
Yeah, moving away from that, Ibrahim, we've seen what happened with the Gambia Ferry Service. Kanilai, Kunta Kinte, Pan at the same time, Ben Monuta move. I think we've discussed with them here issues relating to that. They talked about, we're trying to bring in changes and all of that. But probably if there was another private entity, if this does not work, you can always jump to something else.
Private company, something like that. Maybe we'll give you 2-3 days, then levies will start accumulating.
On you?
On you, possibly. Just depends on how you write the contract.
Right.
There's more pressure on you for things to run.
To operate.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have any money.
Exactly.
When you are a public body, it's part of the government. You take your time. You don't care, really. You take your time. This is why privatizing, this is why it works. Just depends on how you write the contract. They have to be on their toes. Otherwise, they will lose. You have to be on your toes. Otherwise, you lose. Yeah. So there are certain sectors. I mean, one wouldn't say, go and privatize the whole thing. That was really an exaggeration. But there are certain areas that you will see the fruits, if you privatize. You'll have better services, for instance, if you privatize, than if you leave it in the public sector.
I think it's important. I mean, even when you privatize, as far as your people are going to get a very good service, that's the most important thing. Sometimes people talk about how expensive certain things will be when they are privatized. But what about if it is expensive, but still you got the best service?
Let's put it this way. You're going to have to pay money. If you want good service, you are going to have to pay money. I understand why people say it's going to be expensive, but go to all the places, Britain, America, where they have good services and see how much tax that they pay. Yeah. Anything, any movement, you pay something. Right. Park your car in the wrong place, you pay something.
So you behave well.
That's it.
You behave well.
But with us, I don't know what kind of mindset am I going to call it. We want the best services. Now let's talk about money. Paying, we don't want to pay much. Sometimes we become all sentimental. Ordinary people can't afford it. Ordinary people can't do this, can't do that. I'm like, do you know what it means to run a state? Sentimentality doesn't help.
Emotions.
You know what I mean? Perhaps the more tax I pay, maybe that's when the government will have money and spend on those poor people you're talking about. So you want to have your cake and eat it. We are all sentimental about this.
To have social protection, you need money.
Yeah, you need money. Where is it going to come from? You know what I mean? So we have to be tough-minded about these things. Right. You want good services, you're going to have to pay for it.
You have to.
That's really the painful reality.
So, Mr. Mboj, another topic on the papers and online, we're not, there's some, we are not going to get into the details in depth, but before you leave, two individuals ambassadors have been recalled from Cuba, So there has been a trend of diplomats not acting right, whereby they have to be recalled. We saw the issue of the US, and now we see this one. I don't know. There's also an argument surrounding that, because normally the individuals who are sent for the diplomatic missions are either sacked, former ministers who were sacked, or an individual who was a director, or just somebody locally who was working here in the government is removed and sent to diplomatic mission. To an extent that when we have conversations, we even say, oh, Gambia doxut fii nii xam naa dañ ko send international service ñun ñëpp miin nañ Gambia soo fi nekkee dañ la daaxa defuloo lu war locally dañ la dee enu jël la rek yóoni la diplomatic mission ñun miin man depuis bu ma nekkee yongee sax dama ko miin foreign service hay yóbbu nañ ko foreign service moo gën si moom sa foreign service nu mu neexee so man lu ma bëgg a understand si yow mooy foreign service ndax foog nga ne it should be based on politics fine loolu mooy narrative bi but ñii dañ nekk individuals yoo xam ne they representing Gambia in the international stage, making negotiations, dealing with individuals yi nga xam ne intellectuals lañ si yeneen dëkka so it's a bit
so yaa ngi ko gis kind of ñu ngi ko def dumping ground.
comme fii ku fi réglé wu rek foofu lañ la dee sànni.
I mean gis nga comme foreign service bi I mean you are representing the whole country.
Exactly.
I mean the people of that country, the way they see you, that's how they portray the Gambia. So I think behaving well, it's very important, it's key.
Dafa depend su ñu fa yóbbu tam.
Wow.
Yes. Okay. You're quite right. Well, here, let's be careful. The whole idea of this diplomatic appointments, especially in Adam Neka, ambassador or whatever, you hire you. Nekuton dumping ground, it used to be a kind of climax. With young experience, all sorts of things. You've been running things 30, 40 years. All of that accumulating. Then perhaps a better representative. So it was more of a climax than the opposite. It's a dumping ground now, as it were. No, it shouldn't be like that. But again, young major examples in the US now, what's happening here. I wonder how many embassies, high commissions, whatever do we have in the world? So one or two examples, as if it's a trend. In any sack of potatoes, in any sack, I'm one or two rotten stuff.
Because the international stage.
Then who can control that? In any profession I take, some people are just bad at it. Journalism, law, medicine, doctor be rubbish, or lawyer be hamudara, or journalist be bad. So you're bound to have these things. One shouldn't be alarmed by what is just natural.
Neku trend, ñaari trend bu happen ni mota nit ñi conclude. The fact ne dañ gis trend ne nit suñ ko daaxee si government bi fii nii dañ la dee jël yóbbu la foreign service. Ban basis lañ dee use pour seet kan lañ war a yóbbu.
Hanga mota ma the distinction between
when
it can be a climax,
exactly,
or when it's a dumping ground. Obviously, you do not want it to be a dumping ground full failure.
You don't want
See,
that.
This is it.
Yes.
What is like a dumping ground full failure?
Exactly.
So perhaps you're paying them for a loyalty. Obviously, nobody would want anything like that.
Exactly.
Why? Let's be careful now. Fufutam, then there are 10 pull for def experience. True. And all of it. You perhaps you're gonna advocate pulsing interest. You're gonna represent our interest, given the vast experience.
But anyway, it's not for us to decide.
That's the whole idea. Where conceptually you are right, it is not really a good thing. Then ku feel nga ko fa dem.
There is a reason why sometimes just to sometimes so gisee ñuy def loolu xam naa ne it's not right ku feel rek nga yóbbu ko daf dee fekk this political appointments yu dee xew mooy kii taxawal na la fële léegi da nga ko war a fay lii sometimes daf dee mun a am so foofu la ñu bëri dee féelee yow wax nga ko nga ne before they look at how experience you are balaa ñu laa yóbbu ñun time boobu ay diplomats ay foreign service man nu ma ko doon téye they were a very high position.
Absolutely.
They're still.
Well, certainly when we were growing up, ñu def positions yooyu.
Wow.
su
Waaye dafa
déggee
mel ni-
seen tur rek da nga ne wuuf.
Kii
da
la.
daan feel the weight.
Wow.
Well, not anymore. Not
Waaye
anymore.
after loolu ñu
Wow.
trivialize.
But thank
ko.
Mr. Mbodj, fi mu nekk nii xaaral ñu bàyyi la nga dem. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. It's always good to have you here. Xam naa Ibrahima nag moom xam naa sometimes danga dee bëgg a jóg rek dóor ko.
No patience.
Waaw la laaj. Waaw parce que doo leen dee get along. But anyway dañoo dem for a short break, and when we come back we have a very, very interesting topic, and Ibrahima is particularly excited about the discussion that we're about to have. So don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. So, Ibrahima, we're about to head wide onto a very inspiring conversation. And I know you can't do this. Or can you? No? Yes? Yes?
Well-
No? No? Yes?
Well, well, we'll see.
So, we are joined by Pelumi Nubi.
Yes, that's
Yes.
correct. Thank you for
All right,
having me.
So, we're joined by Pelumi Nubi. And this is actually a woman who's driving from London to Lagos.
That's it.
London to Lagos. Wow. L to L.
L to L.
L to L. Anyway, to start with, how did this vision start? Why? What actually took your attention to a solo drive from London to Lagos?
So I was born in Lagos, Nigeria,
Yeah.
and I grew up in London. And I was just trying to find a way to connect both homes, or what I consider to be homes. Each time I go back from London to Lagos, I usually fly. You fly 6 hours. Usually it was the Christmas period, so it's kind of like cold, and then 6 hours later it's warm, and
Yeah.
I'm home. And I was very curious, like, what about the other countries I was going through? What were they like? And I realized that in my research, the overland community, there was not enough representation.
Right.
There's not enough people that were kind of doing this, or if they did it, they didn't get enough attention,
Right.
and people just did not see themselves doing it. So I was just very curious and wanting to do something brave. I travel quite a bit. I'm more currently, the Gambia is my 83rd country, so I'm a traveler at
Wow,
heart.
that's
So this
a
was
lot.
so this was an opportunity to just explore in a more slower pace, get to meet people, cultural immersion, and showcase Africa, as a continent. You hear people saying Africa as a country, and I'm like, okay, 54 countries. We need to explore them a little
Yes.
bit more and showcase it. So yeah, it was just a layering of things, but really to show that adventure is possible and getting people to step out of their comfort zone.
So, Pelumi, when was the first time you decided, okay, I'll be on the steering wheel to drive from London to Lagos?
I saw a guy, his name is Mr. Kunle. He's a Nigerian as well, and he did London to Lagos by bike as well. But again, it was kind of like, can a female do this? And this was back in September 2022. So I had a conversation with him, conversation with all that overland community, and it was at that point I was like, I think I can do this. So it took about a year plus of planning, mapping up the routes, making sure I have contacts and things like that. And yeah, it was just kind of like, I'm doing it. I think when you make up your mind at a point, it just starts, snowballing from there.
So what have you learned from it so far?
that I'm resilient.
Yes, it takes that.
It does take a lot of guts. It takes a lot of you feeling the fear but pushing past it. And I think that's the messaging I want to tell people. I use travel as the model of me kind of like, okay, do this. But really for people to take that and implement in their life. So if you've ever considered London to Lagos drive as impossible, and then you see me doing it, and then maybe you can sit back and reflect, like, what else am I considering impossible in my life? That business I want to start, that toxic relationship I want to leave. So that's really the goal, to be able to get people meeting amazing people. People are kind. I know that we hear a lot of crazy stories, and it's easy to start mistrusting people, but I've met kindness of strangers on the road, navigating self-reliance, and just a lot of lessons, taking it slow, not being too hard on yourself. You make mistake as human being, and learning quickly as well.
So how long did it take?
Right now is 1 month into the journey, so I have 1 more month to go. So hoping to hit Lagos end of March.
So, I mean, how do you, when you start, do you have places where you stop, maybe service your car and move? Because a car cannot be running continuously without being serviced.
So my car name is Lumi. She's my baby. Definitely check.
Oh, that's Lumi.
That's Lumi. It's a purple Peugeot 107. I know with this trip, everyone was like, you need a 4x4. And again, another messaging is making use of what we have. I've had her for about 5 years now. I was just confident. It was just kind of like, I have this item. I'm going to use this. If I were to buy a 4x4, this trip might never happen. So let me just use what I have. Right. In terms of mechanic and servicing, I make sure that she gets checked every country I visit. I also went to a training for about a a day just to know how to change oil, change water, all of that things as well. And she's also converted too as well. So there's a bed in there. I can camp in there. And so there's a bed in there. So in case, emergency and I need to I either wild camp whereby I'm
that's
the bed. So it's a very cozy bed.
Nice.
I got the mattress from Amazon and it's like really, really comfortable. So I got someone to come in to build that. And also, so I'm able to, I use an app called iOverland, and it's really, really good because you kind of leave reviews of other travelers that have also, stayed there. They tell you is there hot water, is there Wi-Fi in the place. So campsites, wild camping, or staying with hosts like I'm currently doing right now. So people that have just been kind enough to open their home to me.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's I think this is more than just traveling from Lagos to London. It's also going to showcase the love that Africans have. When Malik sent it to me, I was like, how did he do it? I mean, with Africa, all this thing that is going on. So how did you manage to pass all the zones?
I think definitely it's a key point you just raised about the kindness of people. Like, it's so, they say Gambia's smiley coast. The love is real. It's very, very real. In terms of navigating through things, it took the research, trying to see what kind of allowance, what permits I needed, kind of like for the car and for myself, visa requirements, all of that. Choosing one border over the other. In Senegal, I chose one over the other. We'll mention some names just to make sure, getting information that they're a bit more lenient or, they're a bit more easy, so that kind of thing. So it's just really doing the in-depth research before the trip. This wasn't a spontaneous, I'm just getting in my car and driving.
No,
it took a lot of research and lots of planning.
So is this paid? Like, do you have partnerships with companies who are supporting you, for example? Like when Hilda Bassi was doing her cookathon. This should be, as big, we have to make noise about it, just like that.
I think the great thing about Hilda, this is so amazing, and it was quite condensed to almost like a few days kind of thing. This is months. I think the momentum will build. It has built. So my social media, I grew from 12,000 on Instagram to 160 something thousand on TikTok, almost the same as well. So it doesn't feel like a solo drive. It feels like I have a crowd. I get checked up every day. We haven't seen you post in a few hours. Are you safe? Are you okay? So people are definitely invested in the journey too as well. And I think moving towards the end of it too as well, there'll be a lot more momentum building.
But do you have partnerships to say, or this person say, oh, I'll get you the fuel. I'll get you
So I have a partnership on board, which is Osprey, which is the backpack company. They really bought into the vision.
Okay.
In terms of like specific, there haven't been yet.
Okay.
I think it will come.
Yeah,
I think
it
people are
should.
a bit, is she going to make it?
Oh,
and,
not.
And because I'm back posting for safety on social media, so I'm not actually, disclaiming exactly where I am in real time.
Okay.
Just so that, someone
Safety
does it.
issues.
Exactly. Safety is, as well, I'm doing this solo. I don't have an insured. I don't have medics. And it's kind of me looking after myself. And also the content needs to be pre-edited and stuff like that, just giving me time for that. So yeah, partners, I'm open to them coming on board. I'm excited about that being a thing in the future, speaking engagement, all of that things. But yeah, just really to showcase that a black solo female can explore the world without it being so scary.
So we have 5 minutes to go. Ibrahim, I have a quick question before I forget. Have you, this cut, has it been there
My haircut?
throughout your life, or is it because of the journey to avoid braiding?
Oh,
It's been there?
It's been there for about 4 or 5 years now.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with
It's
the
nothing
trip.
to do with the trip.
Okay, but it's helpful anyway.
It's
Isn't
very,
it helpful?
very helpful.
You just have to watch it and go.
I had it recently cut in Senegal, and it's another cultural immersion experience as well.
Exactly.
I know you can get in the salon as well. We're going to Barber, talking to them,
Yeah.
having that low
I have
coaster.
a low cut too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you go, girl.
Yeah.
It makes life so much easier. Like I
Okay.
just don't have to think about that.
Yeah,
and
it makes life way, way easier. Yeah, way easier.
So, I mean, when are you expect to leave again? I mean, you from here you'll go back to Nigeria?
So I'm gonna make my way towards Nigeria now. So
Oh.
it's
Yeah,
still
she's
the
moving
trip. Yeah, so I'm
towards
moving
Lagos.
towards that. So it's going to go to Guinea-Bissau and then Sierra Leone,
yeah,
all
all
of
the
that.
other
Ghana,
countries.
Togo, Benin, and then final destination is Lagos. And people have asked, am I driving back? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. No, don't. So you need to relax. You can't do that. But aside from that, let's talk about the food.
Yes.
Because you've been to different countries and tasted like different dishes. How was that experience as well?
I'm a foodie at heart. There's this question people ask, like, what food do you like? I was like, the food I did not cook.
Me too.
So it's
Me
like,
too.
it's like I love trying new food. Even here in the Gambia, I've tried so many different delicacy,
Yeah.
and I'll give you guys credit. I was really looking forward to Senegalese food, and I was a little bit disappointed. But
Really?
yeah.
So
but,
what did you try in Gambia?
oh gosh, don't
Domoda.
try that.
Okay,
it was really good.
plasas,
Try that.
ebe.
Try that.
Okay,
I've been really
menaching.
curious.
Okay, you've been, yeah.
So I've really and I think it's more of the spice because Nigerian we like a lot of spice. But at least
Right.
my tribe Yoruba
Right.
we like a lot of spicy food. So that was kind of like it felt like home. Felt like
Yeah.
eating home. But I'm very very open to delicacies and foods, and it's just like I'm quite curious in that. And that's a good way to explore different cultures. Learn how it's cooked, the ingredients and historical facts as well. But yeah, it's been a joy.
So also, how are you dealing with the fact that when you go to every country, you might want to buy something and you do not have the space?
Try to just admire from afar.
And don't buy. Well, I know
Or
how
just buy
women are.
really small
small
stuff. So I
stuff.
bought this one in Mauritania,
Okay.
like little
Little
jewelries. I
things.
cannot buy like rug or
Yeah, because
something
it's-
big.
yeah.
So like little bag or little something,
Okay.
little magnet, fridge magnet.
Okay,
My mom loves
something like
cover.
that,
Yeah, like
yeah.
little things. I'm
Little
able to take them.
I
But
think
yeah.
after this, you should do a TikTok video on how to pack
Okay.
to travel.
Yeah.
You
Definitely
you
taking packing cubes are lifesaver. So
Okay.
my clothes are not all over.
Okay,
And
so you
labeling
put them in
exactly
sections.
labeling each of the categories. So I know one is for trouser, one is for top, one is for dress.
Yeah.
So when you're looking to dress in the morning, you just pick up one
And
item
go.
and go. So packing cubes, I think that's definitely a compression. That have extra compression. I just have one bag, so you just rotate the clothes, go to the laundry, wash it. Next
And
set of
you're
clothes,
good
you're
to
good to
go.
go. Exactly.
wow, nice.
We wish you all the best of
Ibrahim,
luck.
I'm not sure you can do this.
Well, I
Ibrahim, I don't.
Hey, can you do it?
I think the last time I did it was 300 kilometers.
Yeah,
That's something.
yeah,
300 kilometers.
yeah, amazing.
We can push
amazing.
for more this year.
Yeah, you can push for more this year. And I love your skin tone.
Thank
I
you
think
so
it's
much.
Really, really nice.
Thank
It's
you.
good.
Thank
Yeah,
you. It
and-
feels to be good to be home.
Yeah, really, I know. So any final words before we leave?
I think just, start the journey. That's always I tell people. The things you've been wanting to do, just go for it. You just never know. Everything, that quote, everything you want is on the other side of fear. So just go after everything you want and you won't regret it. So yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
really, really grateful.
Good. This was really a good conversation. Thank you
I'm really
so
grateful.
much.
Thank
so
you.
Ibrahim, I'm sure there's something that is on your mind that you want to do and you've been pushing it for so long. And I think I kind of know one, but I'm not going to say it.
Ooh.
But you have to start.
Don't put me on
Now
the
it's
spot.
no. I'm
She's
not
putting
putting you
you
on the
on the
spot.
spot.
That's why I was like. That's why I am like. I
She's
know
putting me on the
one.
spot.
I know one. So you better start. You know, this is
This is your sign.
No,
You can't get
I am
Sign.
actually I am motivated.
Yes,
Honestly,
I am
I
motivated too.
I
I
am
am motivated
definitely.
too. So you know,
our sponsors.
yeah, our sponsors, Lido. I think she should, we should get her, some Lido before
Oh,
she
I love
leaves.
that.
On
yeah.
her way.
And Lido should actually, try to get her
Definitely, yeah.
some tea or some coffee while she's on her way. You never know. Maybe they're watching. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
I'm open to the
So
possibilities.
Lido, thank you so much for being our main sponsors on the program and calling on more sponsors to actually join us on the program to ensure that, your market reach is expanded. But thank you so much for joining us. It's really good. And I didn't know this. If you didn't come to the show, I wouldn't know. So I'm following you now on TikTok,
Now
and
we'll
I'll be
follow
following this journey because I'm so interested in it now. So good luck. Good luck. And congratulations, because I know you will reach the finish line.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I appreciate
So
it.
that is all we have time for, Ibrahima.
Until
And
tomorrow?
I will remind you of what I was talking about. That people are
Off
not
camera.
supposed to know.
Off camera.
Yeah. So till we come your way tomorrow with another interesting program. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.